Good afternoon. This is Karen with NewClevelandRadio.net. We're glad that you are joining us for What in the World with Paul Seaburn and his sidekick, John Donalo. John talks about weird sports and has some very funny commentary. This podcast is in collaboration with Cleveland 13 News, WCTU. WCTU's mission is to empower and unite the community through reliable, unbiased, and engaging news coverage. And we give you unbiased news too. It's real news. Today's show is sponsored by What Would You Say to a Naked Alien? Just go to www.paulseaburn.com. Also by Henrietta Ivanins McIntyre. Now, just go to the show notes, click on the link, see her books, and you will be happy that you did. And by Yes, I Can Coaching with Karen, life coaching for real people navigating real transitions. And with that, I'm going to ask Paul, what are we going to talk about today?
What in the world are we going to talk about? That's the name of the show, and that's the name of the subject of our show as well. How efficient we are here at What in the World. Thank you, Karen Hale, for that wonderful introduction. I am the host of What in the World, Paul Seaburn. Thank you so much to everybody for joining us, however you may be joining us, whether you're listening to us, our audio version, whether you're watching us on YouTube. And then the most exciting one is if you're watching us on Channel 13, WCTU, our new partner. We're so thrilled to be associated with Channel 13. For those of you joining us via that route, thank you so much for joining us. Please, I hope you enjoy the show. If you do, spread the word. If you don't, spread the word anyways. Maybe your friends will like it. Don't deprive them of it. So we're here every week. We talk about our philosophy. Our motto is real news, sometimes weird, always funny. You don't get any business news. You don't get any politics, no religion, none of that controversial stuff on What in the World. Just the strange, odd, unusual news that I find around the world and our funny commentary about it. And by our, again, I mention our host, media mogul at newclevelandradio.net, Karen Hale. Check out her website for her Yes I Can Coaching with Karen, our sponsor, and also information on all the other great podcasts that Karen provides. By all means, check that out. More information on my book, What Would You Say to a Naked Space Alien, as opposed to the other aliens everybody's talking about. We only talk about space aliens, the the ones from outer space. Check that out on my website, paulseaburn.com, and some other interesting information. If you're interested in the paranormal, we will be talking about a couple of paranormal stories here. Normally, I don't do that, but a lot of our listeners know me from mysteriousuniverse.org.net. I don't remember anymore because I don't work for them anymore. How about that? I had a great association with Mysterious Universe, and many of the people who followed me there are excited to know that we're on Channel 13. I'll be expanding to Substack and also to another podcast in the paranormal world very soon. So I'll be talking about that at a later date. You can find out more about that on Facebook. Follow me on Facebook. Follow Karen on Facebook. Send us messages, all that good stuff. We love to hear from you. And by we, boy, he's been waiting patiently down there for me to mention his name. I think he gets paid every time I mention his name. John Donalo, our color commentary cater, our news guy, news guy, and all around great guy, my old friend from our college days. How are you today, John?
Oh, well, I'm great, Paul and Karen and audience. Down in Florida, don't want to rub it into people that are up north that are dealing with cold weather, but we're like in the low 70s here today. So enjoying the weather and getting ready to have a great podcast.
Also, no frozen iguanas falling out of the trees anymore. That's
No, that's past us. At least it has for now, anyway.
I saw a
Oh,
thing. I don't have this was right before we came on the air. I happened to be looking for some more stories for next week, and I'll probably talk about this next week. And most certainly I'll mention it on Facebook, that there's a guy down in Florida who makes frozen iguana tacos, which is the new thing. He skins them, he collects them, he skins them, he cooks them. They're not frozen, they're cooked. And he claims, as do many of his customers, that they taste great. So if I can find him, I'm going to send the information to John. Maybe he can go down and sample them for us, and come back with next
I
week.
don't I don't know. That might be a tough putt, actually,
Well, maybe
Paul, for me to try that.
take some marinara sauce with you, John, and
Well, I mean, marinara can cover a lot, that's for sure, or make up for a lot. But I don't know. I don't think Annette would be interested in the iguana either. I mean, the
oh,
more that I
the
think about
lovely
it.
John's lovely wife. Okay, let's not talk about spouses because I'll get into trouble until I mention mine here. The So what are we talking about today on What in the World? We've got some great stories. We've got some last minute. Speaking of wives, last minute Valentine's Day gifts. Some strange creatures playing hockey. For a change. I have a sports story. A most unusual typewriter. Boy, wait till you hear about this. Loud house cleaning tips from Germany. There's a stereotypical image of Germans being loud. Well, now we find out how loud they are when they clean their houses. A teacher with a lot of apples from Michigan, and what the cool people are drinking in our hometown, Cleveland, Ohio. So, plus we've got some more odd news. We've got some world records. I've got some great world records, some trivia, which is where John always comes in. Plus, John's got a great weird sport for us. So stay tuned. Here we go. Let's get right to it. Okay, so Valentine's Day is Saturday, the February 14th. If you haven't gotten your gift purchased yet, we've got some great gift ideas for you. And I want to mention, as I bring this up, we have photos that go along with a lot of our stories. So please check us out on Channel 13 and also on YouTube, where you can see the photos. For example, there's a picture of our logo. Here's a picture of my book, What Would You Say to a Naked Space Alien? Available at Amazon and also through paulseaburn.com, my website. Okay, so just in time for Valentine's Day. John, when was the last time you were at McDonald's?
Oh, I would be honest with you. I was at McDonald's yesterday morning, as a matter of fact.
Yesterday. Maybe you
Yesterday
saw
morning.
some information about this because McDonald's is celebrating Valentine's Day this year in a most unusual way. McDonald's is offering free McNugget caviar kits. Okay, I never thought that the words McDonald's and caviar would be used in the same sentence, and yet we're going to continue to use it through this whole story here. So it's called the McNugget caviar kit. It's available at McNuggetCaviar.com, and it's free starting today, February 10th. The kit contains 6 McNuggets, a 1-ounce tin of McNugget caviar. We'll talk about that in a second. The McNugget caviar, a $25 McDonald's gift card, some crème fraîche. For some reason, I don't know what. I guess you put that on the caviar. I don't think you put it on the McNuggets, and a mother of pearl caviar spoon. So, which right off the bat, with a mother of pearl caviar spoon, I would think to be authentic for your loved one on Valentine's Day, it should be a mother of pearl spork, not a regular mother of pearl spoon. But sure enough, that's what they've got there. So, John, does that appeal to you at all before I go any further and really turn it on?
No, to your point earlier, Paul, like McNugget and caviar, just those are strange bedfellows. I mean, I don't even see how that comes close to like being something of an item per se. And what is the cost of this meal at McDonald's?
That's the best part, John. It's free. It's for a limited time only, and you have to go to McNuggetCaviar.com for all the information until
Okay.
until they run out. I guess which is like 3 of them, and I don't know how many they can
Oh,
afford.
boy. Yeah.
I don't know. Although they said that if the caviar runs out, you can substitute one um, fillet of sturgeon. So the that's where the caviar came from. So
But
that makes sense.
just so you all know, according to their website, it's all sold out.
Already. It's
Yep.
oh, that was pretty fast. Wow. Well, they weren't really sold. They're all registered out, I guess, because
Oh,
they were free. Wow. So, I went to McDonald's to see if they had them in stock at my local McDonald's down the street. And they said that they couldn't help me because their crème fraîche machine was broken down, as usual.
As it always is, right?
It always is, John. When you want some on your Big Mac, some crème fraîche. I, you know what? For everybody out there, I do the cooking at the Seaburn household, and I've tried to find crème fraîche. Sometimes the stores have it, sometimes they don't. Use sour cream. Sour cream works just as well. But a caviar. Obviously, that if this is so popular, they'll be doing this more often. Um, I would think that a McNugget caviar kit should come in like a Gucci bag. But no, I saw it comes in a greasy bag, which is what you get from McDonald's. Uh,
exactly. Yep.
yeah, yeah. The and then I saw this that you can get the regular caviar, or you can get the caviar with cheese, which is doesn't make it sound any more appealing to me. Um, and you can't supersize the caviar, which I was kind of disappointed. Which although do you get a bigger container or do you get bigger eggs? That would be my first question, because if I could get a can of like ostrich eggs, that's got to be the kind of thing you get at Costco, a big barrel of ostrich eggs instead of a little tin of caviar. I could go for that. But getting caviar at McDonald's is like getting a Rolex at Walmart. Can you? Right? I
It
can't
doesn't
imagine.
connect, right? I agree. It doesn't
Yeah,
connect.
and even if you could get a Rolex at Walmart, they'd have how would they get the price down low enough for the average Walmart shopper? You'd end up getting a bag full of parts and a list and instructions on how to assemble it yourself. And instead of a band, you get a roll of duct tape to tape it to your arm, because I mean, what else? You can't afford anything else. So John mentioned his lovely wife before. I thought about, what if I gave this gift to my lovely wife? I can guarantee it would not be a Happy Meal.
I don't
Guarantee.
think
No.
so.
Maybe for our dog, but not for me. Certainly
Mm.
not for me. Um, so okay. So if they're already sold out, Karen, luckily in Cleveland, we're not sold out of the traditional Cleveland Valentine's Day gift. What am I talking about? Everybody's favorite, a ring of kielbasa shaped like a
Oh,
heart, filled with pierogies. Here's one on the grill right here at one of my favorite restaurants. I'm not going to tell you where it's at because they might be sold out before I get there with mine. Yes,
Wow.
indeed. How about that? Doesn't that look tasty, John?
Yeah, it looks okay. Yeah, I think it looks okay.
The pierogies are a little burnt. Um,
Yeah, that's there's a warning there, but
Somebody, yeah, this diner must be new to the pierogi business, because they scorched their pierogies a little bit. Maybe they were waiting for the photographer. Maybe it's the photographer's fault. He waited too long to take the picture. But so and if they're already sold out of the heart-shaped kielbasa with pierogies, you can always get the other Cleveland favorite, and that is pierogi flavored Lay's potato chips. The tastes just like pierogi according to the bag. The special edition, obviously. I thought we may have talked about these last week. That there's actually, I had a lot of people ask me where they could get these. And unfortunately, they come from one of my favorite Facebook pages, Polish Food and Novelties. Uh, so I'm not sure where I found the heart-shaped kielbasa, but that's a traditional Cleveland favorite, kielbasa and pierogies. You can't go wrong taking your Valentine for some of that this week. All right. The So I mentioned that I've known John since our college days. John is a collector of sports memorabilia. Our next story is about collecting and about memorabilia, but not sport. Do you have any non-sports memorabilia in your collection, John?
I would say I do. Yes, I have some historical. I say I have some historical memorabilia, more
Ah,
American history, Civil War history. Kind of more in that vein. Yeah.
okay. Well, then this fits in right in your category of historical memorabilia. This comes it fairly recent history, but nonetheless it's historical. So, um, Matchbox, the little tiny car people, a Matchbox Regular Wheels 62C Mercury Cougar in excellent condition with the original package was sold at an auction recently for, get ready for this, over $30,000.
Whoa.
Wow.
Yeah. One little Matchbox car in one little Matchbox box. This car was a rare first issue before the design was switched to metallic green. So there were only a few of them, a rarity, like a penny that had Lincoln sticking out his tongue or something. So
Good, good comparison.
yeah. So rumor has it that this car was bought by a woman who proceeded to smash it in front of her brother as revenge for him putting her Barbie in the microwave. Uh,
Oh, wow.
yeah, yeah.
Wow.
Well, justice has to be served, Paul and
Oh
Karen,
boy,
somehow.
revenge is sweet in that case. Witnesses said that the best part of watching this auction was watching when the auctioneer said, "What would it take for me to put this car in your pocket?" Typical used Xbox car salesman. In fact, he was such a bad used car salesman. He even stopped the auction at one point and said he had to go ask his manager about this a new order. So you know, typical used car guy. I think I saw a picture of me in a plaid jacket on. Uh, I haven't bought a used car in a long time. I don't know. Do used car sales reps still dress in plaid jackets?
But that's the stereotype for sure. That's the stereotype. I wouldn't know, to be honest with you.
Probably, people don't even buy used cars from used car lots anymore. They buy them all online at
Right.
usedcar.com or whatever they're called. Yeah, Karen. The maybe the avatar for them has a plaid jacket on. That would make it more authentic. Um, so Matchbox, I was thinking about this. This is right borderline when we were kids, John, and we didn't have Matchbox. We had the other ones. We had the Hot Wheels.
Hot
Matchbox,
Wheels.
yeah, Matchbox was turns out was a British car, toy car company, and Mattel made the other kind, Hot Wheels. I think it was Mattel. I remember they had a Cleveland version of their cars. They had rusty Chevy Impalas and rusty Ford Galaxies for kids who
Those are
had
very
never seen.
popular cars. Those are popular
Oh,
models at the
I don't ever
time.
remember seeing a brand new Ford Galaxy. As soon as you pulled it out the driveway of the dealership, it was rusty. Um, and they also, they had those chutes that you would send the cars down,
Yep.
uh, and the tracks. The Cleveland version of those had potholes in them and abandoned cars along the side. So, you had to kind of weave through them. It was just like real Cleveland streets. It was really cool. I remember my nephew had one, and one of those tracks. And his favorite part, there was a speed trap in Lindale that you had to slow down to go through. So that's a Cleveland joke for all you Clevelanders out there.
Oh
The
yeah.
Okay. So last week, for those of you who watched the show last week, and if you didn't, maybe you should stop right here and go watch that one because I'm going to make a reference to the show. We'll wait. No, we won't. So last week we talked about the Lego shoes, the painful giant shoes shaped like Lego blocks. Well, believe it or not, I have another Lego story. So if you made the prop bet for two Lego stories within 1 week, you're a winner. Um, the Lego enthusiast by the name of Cone Bricks. Now I think that's a fake name, but that's what he calls himself. He's designed a functional typewriter, believe it or not, a typewriter made completely out of Lego bricks that punches Lego letters, okay, it's still Lego, onto a reusable and rotating Lego board for writing messages. So
Oh my
you
gosh.
it's really it's very ingenious. He doesn't use paper. Every single thing in there comes from Lego, um, including the keyboard. I don't know how he got the keyboard from Lego too, but I guess they make those as well. Um, Even the keys themselves are Lego blocks. So you should wear, you got to be careful. Wear something on your fingers so you don't hurt your fingers on those little bricks. The the Now, I was reading the write-up on it, and it said that the Lego typewriter has no practical use, which, of course, makes it just like a typewriter today. Now, if my lovely wife was here, she'd slap me in the back of the head because she was a legal secretary for many, many, many years and owned many, 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 or used many, many typewriters. The designer of this thing said that the best part was watching frustrated teenagers constantly swiping left on the top of it to see if they could make it work.
Yep.
The Matchbox guy too. That was the other thing. The Matchbox guy, he had to keep explaining to the Gen Z people in the audience what a Matchbox was. Life is so hard for us older people now that we have to explain all this stuff to you kids. So Lego doesn't make paper, so they use these Lego letters and plug them into a Lego pegboard. So you got to make sure, if you're writing a letter to your boss, you want to make sure you really, you can read it and then leave it on the floor so he steps on it. So
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
right. Supposedly somebody's working on a Lego computer, which would be the next generation of this Lego typewriter. And of course, it's got to be, it can't be very modern, probably still running Windows XP. Karen, you worked in the computer business for a while. Do you remember how far back people used to, when people would come in with old operating systems that they didn't want to part with? Did that happen to you?
Oh, absolutely. I mean,
Yeah.
they would get upset when you'd say, well, we're on a new version of Windows or we're on a new system version as well,
Yeah.
especially with Intel, well, this is Intel 12. Oh, no, now we're Intel 14,
14, yeah, 17, 26.
Yeah.
Where have you been, people? I know. All right. Okay, so this is a Cleveland story here. So it seems like everybody today is drinking these things called wellness drinks. Wellness drink. That's the big thing, wellness drinks. And I was reading in a Cleveland media report a survey about what kind of wellness drinks Clevelanders are drinking. That's why I wanted to talk about this today. So, I go to the grocery store, I do the grocery shopping, and it's like half of the beverage aisle today is nothing but these wellness drinks. Here's a picture of the just a small collection with very unusual names. I'm not going to say them because they're not sponsors, and if they were, I'd be more than happy to plug them. But just go to the store. Yeah, they're all over the place. These wellness drinks. So you go to the grocery store for wellness drinks. You go to the beverage store for vapes. But the world doesn't make sense anymore. Can't get things where you want them.
Yep.
I liked it better, by the way. For people of a certain age who are listening to us, I liked it better when you had Coke, you had Pepsi, and then you had those little bottles that your dad bought because he was too cheap to buy you Coke or Pepsi. You remember what those were called, John?
Oh, the Cotton Club, you mean? Is that what you're talking
No,
about?
no. The little bottles. The little bottle.
Oh, Little Tom's?
Little time. Look at that. There, I found a picture of a wooden case of Little Times.
Never heard of that.
Pardon?
I've never heard of Little Tom.
You never heard of Little Times? Oh yeah, Karen. They had all the flavors. They had cola, which was it was almost Coke, and they had there's a cream soda in there, I think, somewhere, and orange.
Oh, sure.
They all tasted. close.
I remember little times people would have them at communion parties. That would be like
Yes,
the typical drink that would be at communion parties in the 60s, at least in
yes,
Parma, at least where we grew up or whatever. But yeah, yeah,
that's
everyone
right.
had little times.
And then
That's what
you filled up that wooden crate with all the empty bottles, and you took it back to the beverage store, and you got a nickel or something for every one of them. And
something
then
like that,
your dad,
right? Yeah.
you thought for sure your dad would buy something good, but no, he bought more little Toms with it.
Yeah.
And then what did he
Oh.
buy for himself? If if there were adults at the party, John, at the communion party or whatever it was, they would buy Cotton Club for their highballs
Mhm.
back in
Sure.
the days. Yeah, Cotton Club,
No,
ginger
that's the highballs. That's what they
that's right.
call them.
Ginger ale and 50-50. Okay.
Sure,
That's enough
sure.
nostalgia here. So,
Wow.
so what are people drinking today? According to a new survey in Cleveland, these wellness drinks are replacing sugary sodas and alcohol as the preferred beverages of Clevelanders. So the study said that like more than 50% of people are buying these things and drinking them instead of alcohol, which is bad for our local brewers. Um, the good news is, though, is at least for some of us, you may think all week that you're giving up alcohol and switching to wellness drinks. And then you go to church on Sunday and you find out that in heaven there is no beer. And on Monday morning, you're back back to the beverage store. So these wellness drinks, they include things like sparkling waters, seltzers, sports drinks, energy drinks, and prebiotic sodas, which we'll talk about in a second. Of course, I was thinking the original Cleveland wellness drink was a thermos full of chicken soup, which cured
Well,
everything, cured no matter what was ailing you.
Sure, sure.
So, John, have you ever heard of prebiotic soda?
I have not. That's the first I've heard of it.
Okay, well, luckily you're tuned in to What in the World, where we explain all these things for you people who want to be cool. So, I it contains it's fizzy water, like seltzers, fizzy water that contains fiber. Fizzy, that's what a prebiotic soda is. Fizzy water that contains fiber. I can hear my father. I'm thinking about it. I can hear my father saying, "You you bought you bought seltzer water with fiber in it? How much did you pay for it? You paid that much for it? I'll give you fiber. Here, pour some little time on this raisin bran here. There,
There you
now
go,
you
sir.
got fizzy fiber right here.
whoa.
Prebiotic fizzy fiber water. Only, well, it's not only in Cleveland, obviously. Everybody's drinking it. Okay, so I mentioned I was a writer and editor for 9 years at Mysterious Universe, where I focused on current news, which is my focus here at What in the World. But there it was on UFOs and aliens and monsters and things like that. Um, in that world, the so-called paranormal world, the correct word, or the word that we use there for monsters, is cryptid. Cryptid is the word. Um, so I happened to find a cryptid story this week that Clevelanders can relate to. Um, so this comes from, I can't believe I'm saying this, paranormal hockey news. That's the category here. Paranormal hockey news. So in paranormal hockey news this week, the Cryptid Cup returned to Seattle after the Seattle Kraken defeated the New Jersey Devils 4-2. So the Kraken is a sea monster
Hmm.
in Scandinavia, and the New Jersey Devil is a kind of a dragon-like bat thing with bat wings and a horse's head and cloven feet, and I don't know, it chases little kids and does all kind of bad things. So these two teams are named after these cryptid, and every year they play each other twice, and each time they have a cup. There's their logos here, for Seattle and New Jersey, and here's the cup, the Kraken Cup, which was given from the Cryptid Cup from the Krakens to the Devils this year. Um, so the kraken. People use that term all the time. It's like a Loch Ness monster on steroids. It's yeah, they can take down ships. You never hear about the Loch Ness monster taking down ship. Kraken, that was the first thing they did. Take down the ships, sink the ship, eat all of the sailors. I don't know, and then drink all the rum, whatever else they did. The and the Jersey Devil, we talked about that. They made it look really scary to keep New Yorkers out of New Jersey. That's the original theory. So I thought it was interesting that these cryptid teams were hockey teams. I didn't expect that of all the leagues with and all the mascots that there are, why is it that hockey picked cryptid? And we have one right here in Cleveland, Ohio, the Cleveland Monsters, which were originally, I guess, the Lake Erie Monsters, named for the Lake Erie monster, which we call Bessie. Bessie is kind of a little kraken, not a big kraken, not a real scary one. Although I think there are some stories that Bessie may have one time sunk a ship in Lake Erie. But we call it Bessie, which is a nice tame name. It's like Bessie, like it's named after your crazy aunt who never got married, and she's the one who liked hockey. Well, let's name the team after Aunt Bessie, crazy Aunt Bessie. The so this is in the American Hockey League. Am I right, John?
That's correct. Yeah, AHL, correct.
AHL, right? Okay. So not only does the American Hockey League, not as opposed to the NHL, have the Monsters, they also have the Springfield Thunderbirds, the Lehigh Valley Phantoms, and the Coachella Valley Firebirds. All of those are famous cryptids from various parts of the world, which is enough four teams, to have a cryptid tournament instead of, and they have a big battle of the monsters for a bigger cup. They could show it on the Travel Channel, which is where they show all those monster stories now. So we've talked about high school and mostly high school teams that were named after Bigfoot recently, and Sasquatch. Nobody names their teams after aliens. I was thinking about this. There's no aliens, no flying saucers, which would, maybe the team owners are afraid of that image of the team crashing and burning like a UFO does all the time. So that'd be the perfect name for the Browns.
Oh boy.
I'm sorry, John.
It's okay, Paul. It's okay.
That's the way it goes there. Okay. All right. So enough on the monster hockey teams. This story comes from Germany. And I didn't know this. The houses used to be made of gingerbread in Germany. This is a big thing in Germany. These gingerbread houses, life-size gingerbread houses, until those bratty little kids, Hansel and Gretel, came around and spoiled it for everybody, and you couldn't build gingerbread houses anymore. So this is a popular trend in Germany that is actually spreading to the United States, which is how I found out about it. It's called, get ready for this, house burping. House burping is what it's called, which I thought that was what Hansel and Gretel did after they ate the gingerbread house. They did some house burping, but turns out that that's not what house burping means. House burping means that you open all of your windows and all of your doors a few times a day in order to air out your house. That's what my mother would have called it, airing out the house. In Germany, they call it house burping. If you haven't opened if you haven't cleaned in a while, it's more like house barfing.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that's what they call it, house burping. Don't try this in Cleveland. It was just last week. It was minus. I think earlier this week, it was minus 10 degrees.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I got up. If I open any window in my house when it's minus 10 degrees, what would happen is my house would open the front door. It would blow me through the front door. It would close it and lock it. close all the windows and lock all the windows and not let me in until I promise to never do that again until it's 50 degrees outside, at least. That's why we don't do that in Cleveland.
Absolutely.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Well, and the German word for this, John, I know you're the language guy. It's Luften. Luften. That's house burping in German. Luften. And
Okay.
if everybody in your neighborhood does it on the same day, it's called a Luftenfest. So so yeah. Now, the first time I heard this, I thought this is obviously something that women in the United States, or maybe in Germany as well, tell their husbands to get them to like house cleaning. Oh, we're going to be house burping today. Oh, yeah, that sounds like fun. There's got to be beer involved somehow.
Yeah.
So, or maybe it was I think this whole thing was invented by a company that sold window screens, because you got to have window screens on when you're house burping. I don't think you want to.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You don't want the bugs flying. It's like being in a convertible with your mouth open, bugs flying in. I don't need that. So everybody has a favorite teacher growing up. Maybe more than one. I may have mentioned this before. I still keep in contact with one of my favorite teachers who lives down in Florida. This comes from Beverly Hills, Michigan, where the favorite teacher of some kids is also the favorite teacher of their parents, their grandparents, and in some cases, their great-grandparents. This lady is 90 years old. Her name is Beverly Hannett Price. That's her name, Beverly Hannett Price. There's a picture of Beverly. She's a 90-year-old English teacher at Detroit Country Day School in Beverly Hills, Michigan. And she just got the Guinness World Record for being a teacher for 67 years.
Wow.
The longest career as a language teacher, a female language teacher. I don't think any males last that long doing something like that. 67-year career. Hers, so she taught English, English was her subject. Hers is the only Guinness World Record certificate that's redlined for grammar and spelling errors.
Yep.
So Mrs. Price said that of the many, many, many students that she's had over the years, she taught the actor Courtney B. Vance, comedian and actor Robin Williams, and former Microsoft CEO Steve Ballmer. So,
Wow.
Yeah. So she's taught people who act, people who are funny, and also people who look at you funny when you say you bought an Apple computer or you didn't. Yeah. She's so old, 90 years old. She remembers when teachers had to mine their own chalk. That's how old she is. Where's my horn? I haven't blown the horn yet today. She's so old, she remembers when paddling was one of the things that she got evaluated on. I remember those days. I think John remembers those too, and Karen.
I never got paddled.
Well, no, you probably saw somebody get paddled.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah, the bad kids, as we called them. She must have been good at it because she had it on her resume. She paddles right, throws erasers left. That was she's old. She says she's old, but she still loves the smell of sawdust on vomit in the morning. Do you remember? You remember when somebody got sick in the classroom? They'd call the janitor, or maybe the teacher did this. I don't know. And they would bring out this big thing of sawdust, scented sawdust, and they'd pour it on there to absorb it. Remember that?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, I remember that clearly. Yes, I remember that.
Yeah. Believe it or not, that technology is still being used today. I thought they'd have like shop vacs or something. But here's a picture of a product called Voban, which I thought Voban was the name of the prime minister of Turkmenistan. But
boy.
Oh, sorry. Turns out Voban is actual scented sawdust that they sell to schools to this day. So, she'd like that joke. She's pretty hip and not in a broken way. She says she has no plans for retirement, where else can she get her daily free fix of marker vapors? The Everybody loves those. Okay. All right. So we just had another Super Bowl last weekend. Super Bowl LX, not XL, which although the game was extra long for some of us, at least for the Patriots, if I remember who won, right, John?
That's correct. Seattle won the game. Yes.
But we're not
Handily.
going to talk about that game. We're going to talk about another milestone game, Super Bowl XX. John, sports guy, do you remember who played in Super Bowl 20 XX?
Boy, I tell you what, let me think here. Was San Francisco one of the teams?
Let's see. No, one of the teams, I'll give you a hint. It was one of the teams that played this year against a team that has only appeared in the Super Bowl once.
Well, it has to be New England Patriots then.
Wait,
And they played against
only appearance ever in the Super Bowl,
hmm.
and then they shuffled out.
Oh, Buffalo?
Yeah,
No, couldn't be Buffalo. It's the same
no, that
conference.
was the Chicago Bears and the Super
Oh,
Bowl.
yes, okay.
Okay.
Was that it?
Why am I mentioning Super Bowl 20, you may ask? And you should
Yes.
that. The reason is because Mike Ditka, the coach of the Chicago Bears, was well known for wearing a Chicago Bears sweater vest pretty much everywhere he went. I think he may have even worn it to bed. So one of his iconic Chicago Bears sweater vests, in fact, the one that he wore during the team's 46-10 victory over the Patriots that day, just sold at auction, memorabilia man, $183,000.
Oh my
Really?
gosh.
Mike
Wow.
Wow.
Ditka's sweater vest. How about that? I bet you'd like to have that in your collection.
Oh,
That would be
yeah,
neat.
not.
I don't know if I'd want to have it for 183 though. Wow.
Well, but believe it or not, I don't know if the owner knows this, but it's worth more than that, because if you wring it out, the sweat and the kielbasa juice that was still in there, you could sell that as well besides the sweater. This thing, if you remember that team, Refrigerator Perry, who was one of the players on that team, he used to wear one of these as a headband. That's how big he was.
Remember him?
They said that when they were auctioning it off, they said that if you held Mike Ditka's sweater vest to your ear, you could hear him saying, nobody will ever listen to that Super Bowl shuffle. So, and I looked to make sure Mike Ditka was not in the Super Bowl shuffle song that was made famous by the players.
No, I believe you're right on that, Paul. Yes, no, he was not. He was
I
not.
think he would probably regretted that, because I think they made some money. Back then they probably made more money on residuals from that song than they did from playing in the Super Bowl.
Oh yeah, sure.
Do you have any clothing in your collection, John?
Uh, well, yes, I do. As a matter of fact.
Oh, okay.
Uh,
I'm sorry if that's too personal for you. I'd
no,
like
no,
Rocky Colavito's jock strap or something.
don't have that.
Oh,
But
you don't? No, I thought
no,
for sure.
I do not. Let me ask you this question: Was this the Super Bowl after the Bears 1985 season? Was this after the 1985 season? Do you know?
Oh, I don't know. The Super Bowl 20. I don't know what year that
Well,
was.
because the 85 Bears defense is recognized as one of the best, if not the best defense in NFL
Probably.
history.
Probably. As far as I can remember, that was the only time they were in the Super Bowl. So, anyways, that's speaking of sports, that's it for me on sports. I don't have too many sports stories normally, but we had a couple on my segment this week. But that means if I'm finished, that means it's time for What in the World of Sports with John Dinallo. I think, let's see, do I have the logo here? The official logo. There we go. So as I mentioned before, John and I go back to our college days. I think we met probably on day 2 of our first days at John Carroll University.
That sounds right, Paul. Yeah, I think so.
Cleveland, Ohio. We've been friends ever since. We're fraternity brothers. John knows more about sports than anybody else I know, so I always turn to him and I say, John, please find us a sport, an unusual sport that fits our motto: real sport, sometimes strange, always funny. And John, as regular listeners know, always manages to come up with one. He's got a great one for us this week. John, what's our sport?
Okay, Paul, thanks for the introduction. Appreciate that. So, our sport this week is one with an innocent name that sounds like fun, but it actually puts more people in the hospital than downhill skiing.
Ooh,
The sport is cheese rolling. Let me explain. Each spring, the Gloucester region of southwest England hosts an annual cheese rolling event in which huge crowds gather to watch people from around the world launch themselves down a very steep hill in pursuit of a round of cheese. Yes, you heard me correctly, a round of cheese. The first person that crosses the finish line at the bottom of the hill is crowned the winner, and the prize, of course, is the round of cheese. Now, befitting of the area, it is a round of famous and delicious double Gloucester cheese that weighs exactly 9 pounds.
ooh, good.
Now, here's an amazing statistic for everyone. The event has taken place on Cooper's Hill since the 15th century, when it was used to divide up grazing rights of cattle. Or maybe it was a pagan rite for welcoming spring. No one really knows for certain. They do remember that when you had to catch the rolling cheese to win, but too many people were hurt by the flying cheese and falling bodies. So now what people have to catch is a foam cheddar wheel.
Oh, how disappointing.
Well, I mean, in the
It
interest of
still
safety,
looks,
you understand that.
I suppose, it still looks dangerous as we look at the photos here of people rolling down this steep hill.
Yeah, they're after that foam cheddar wheel. Now, when it's over, if you can still walk, contestants convene at a pub called the Cheese Rollers for some painkillers.
Of course, yeah.
The Cheese Rollers. What a name for a pub. Okay, there are a total of 4 downhill races. There are 3 for men and 1 for women, with a maximum of 14 racers for each, although more contestants actually run the race. In some years, as many as 40 participants join the competition. Anyone can qualify just by showing up. Just make sure that you notify your next of kin. Now, cheese rolling sounds like a great sport for Cleveland. We have plenty of hills in Cuyahoga County Valley National Park. We also have plenty of cheese shops to supply the wheel of cheddar. And we have plenty of local brewed beer to help convince yourself that this is a real sport.
Oh, oh, geez. Ah,
Look at this gent with his. If you're seeing it on YouTube, look at this gent that has the. That might be real cheese and not even the foam wheel. I don't think. If I
yeah.
got that
I know.
right.
Yeah, some of these look like some of the photos that we were looking at look like an actual wheel of cheddar. This guy doesn't look like he's going to be going to the the cheese rolling club
No,
anytime
doesn't
soon.
look
He's
like
not
it.
going. He's not going for a beverage at this point. No, he isn't.
No, yeah, he needs intravenously he needs it. The wow, great sport, John. Cheese rolling. The I was trying to see if any of the any place in Ohio was doing cheese rolling, and there's a number of races in the Cuyahoga Valley Park that are like trail races downhill, and there's some pretty steep hills in the valley. So it would certainly be the perfect location to do cheese rolling in Cleveland. Um, but yeah, those people were just tripping all over each other, falling down, getting up, men, women, children, and it looked like they had TV coverage too. I saw some.
Oh,
Oh, I mean, think of it. It goes back to the 15th century. This tradition. Yeah, I mean, how can you have a tradition such as this for that length of time? I mean, it's amazing.
Oh
Simply
yeah,
amazing.
it's.
That's what caught my attention.
I know. It's And yet, and it is a sport of all things. It really is a sport, at least in England. And if we can figure out how to get it to the United States, I think it would be a popular sport here as well. I agree with you there, John. Although, I thought that I had never heard of cheese rolling before, but it turns out, if you remember back to when we were in college, in the fraternity, we were challenged by another fraternity to a game of cheese rolling. Do you remember that at all?
No, I have a vague recollection, Paul. You'll have to remind me, please.
Fortunately, I have a write-up from the Carroll News and also some photos from that day. So one of the fraternities challenged us to a bout of cheese rolling. I'm not sure what a match or whatever you call it, a wheel, a slice of cheese rolling. So we said sure. We never backed down from a challenge by another fraternity. And the older brothers turned to John and myself, as always, to do the hard work of finding a hill and some cheese. we could find cheese. There was plenty of craft places around, but no wheels. We had a tough time finding a wheel of cheese. But there were other things that are very prevalent in the Cleveland area. So what we did was we found a giant pierogi. Here's a picture of we got one of the mothers of one of our brothers to get all of her friends together and make a giant pierogi. Here's a picture of the giant pierogi there. I think it was our buddy Les, John, because his mom is Polish. So
yeah, I think it was Les's mom. Yes,
right. I think that was right up her alley. So then we had to practice. So we found somebody to dress up like a pierogi, and we chased her down the hill. I don't know if that actually prepared us too well. And we should have gone to the hill, because what happened was when we rolled the pierogi down the hill, thank goodness we all fell down before the pierogi got to the bottom, because at the bottom of this particular hill was a giant fork.
Oh, my goodness.
The poor pierogi got impaled upon that fork.
Oh yeah! Wow, look at
that. Luckily, we were spared that indignity. But we got down to the bottom. What else could we do? We cut it up. We got some beer, and we ate pierogies out of the pierogi cup, or a
pierogi cup there. Yeah, okay, sure.
Pierogi cup.
Look at he's really enjoying it there. Yes.
Yeah, I'm sure he's probably sitting on a keg of beer. That's why he's enjoying it.
Oh my.
How about that? Yeah, pierogi rolling from Cleveland, Ohio. Great sport, John, by the way, cheese rolling, as always. Thank you so much for that.
Oh, thanks, gang. Appreciate it.
I believe we've hit the end of our sports segment, and that means I'll take our big logo down here, and we'll get back to the game show portion of our show. What in the world? The Bluff the co-host, everybody's favorite weird news game. Oh boy, this is the sweeping the globe. Bluff the co-host. I'm waiting for Pat Sajak or Vanna White to call us up and say, hey, or Drew Carey, another Clevelander. We need to call him up.
Drew would be a good one. Yeah.
Yeah, we could fill in for that show, whatever the name of that show is that he's on. So Bluff the Call is a very simple game. I have 3 stories similar to the ones we've been talking about all afternoon. One big difference: those stories were real. These stories may be real, they may be a bluff, and it's up to Karen and John and all of you playing out there to decide real or bluff. Wagering is allowed, so place your bet. John and Karen, hands on the buzzer. Let's get right to story number 1. Geico has its gecko. Liberty Mutual has Lemu the emu. So Mutual of Omaha is test marketing its own sports animal, Sue the Moo. Yes, Sue is a cow, but Mutual of Omaha's initials are MOO. So those smart people in marketing thought Sue the Moo sounded perfect and would make perfect sense, especially since Nebraska, the home of Mutual of Omaha, has lots of cows. Sue the Moo made her debut during the Super Bowl in selected cities, and they said was accepted well by people who weren't eating beef tacos. Sue the Moo commercials are staying local for now, but Mutual of Omaha warns Lemu and Gecko that they better get ready for a stampede soon.
Oh.
So Mutual of Omaha, jealous of the other animals in the insurance world, is coming out with a cow by the name of Sue the Moo, M-O-O Moo. Real or bluff? Karen, we'll start with you.
Oh boy, Sue the Moo. Sort of like that. Um, yeah, let's say it's real. I just like the thought of Sue the Moo.
Sue, like Karen, would you switch insurance companies just to be associated with Sue the Moo?
Oh, of course,
Of
in a
course.
heartbeat.
Okay, good. Karen is pushing to get Mutual of Omaha as a sponsor. Okay, so Karen says that's a real story. John, how about you?
No, I'm gonna say it's a bluff, Paul and Karen audience. I mean, I do think it's amazing how popular or how prevalent these commercials are with animals in them, right? Representing insurance companies. But I'm gonna say it's not real. I don't think that Mutual of Omaha is going that way.
Okay, all right. So John says that Sue the Moo's a bluff. Karen says it's real. Let's check with the judges, and the judges say, "Congratulations, John. That is a bluff." The
Oh, okay.
John,
Sue the Moo, yeah. Mutual of Omaha did sponsor Wild Kingdom, so but
Oh, how can you not recall Marlon Perkins? You know,
right,
people
yeah.
from our
yes,
generation, I
Oh
mean,
yeah,
you know, younger people will not have any idea who Marlon Perkins is.
of course
But that
not. You
was
have
such
to
a
explain
popular,
it to them. Yeah.
yeah, such a popular show. And oh yeah,
Yep.
Marlon was
Okay,
always
so
upstream. Marlon was always upstream while Jim was fishing out the man-eating alligator.
oh,
You know,
oh, and John all excited here.
I
The
had to throw that in there. I'm sorry, I just had to throw that in there.
Okay, so Sue the Moose says the score is John 1, Karen 0. Let's get right to story number 2. While it sounds like something that could only happen in the US, the Basilica of San Lorenzo in Lucina, Italy, one of the oldest basilicas in Rome, is in trouble for a painting of an angel that was restored recently. And the new angel's face looks just like Italy's first woman premier, Giorgia Meloni. Angel Maloney, as it is now called, has been drawing huge crowds to the church, which one would think would be a good thing. But the gawkers were disrupting services, and that's a no-no, especially when they're passing the basket. Premier Maloney has no problem with the painting, but she admits she's no angel. It was too much for the pastor, however, who has plastered, pastor, plastered plaster on the Angel Maloney's face and ordered the painter to return its original face before Pope Leo hears about it. Okay, so a church in Rome remodels a painting and it looks like the premiere. Everybody gets upset. They have to plaster and paint it again. Real or bluff? John, we'll start with you.
You know, this could go either way, but I think it's going to be a bluff. I don't see that actually happening. I'm going to say it's a
Okay,
bluff.
Angel
Yeah.
Maloney, it's a bluff. All right, Karen, how about you?
well, I'm going to agree with John just because he probably knows more about angels than I do.
That's some logic, Karen, you've got
Now
going there.
that's interesting logic right there. Questionable, but interesting. The Okay, so to, to bowing to the angel expert, both of you say that Angel Maloney is a bluff. Let's check with the judges, and the judges say sorry to both of you. That is a real story. And shout out goes to my lovely wife Donna, who found that story and said this is perfect for Bluff the co-host. So there
It
we go.
was.
Wow, yeah, that's a
Yeah, yeah.
surprise. Wow.
As I
Okay.
said, we take input from anybody, including spouses. So that means the score is still 1-0, but points are double in round number 3. So Karen could come roaring back. Let's see if she does. Egyptologists and moviegoers know about the mummy's curse, which brings bad luck, sickness, and even death to those who rob Egyptian tombs and desecrate the mummies. But a museum in London thought it found a way around the curse by unwrapping its mummies with a CAT scanner. While no damage was done to the mummies or their wrappings, one operator began hallucinating when he turned on the CAT machine and shut it down immediately. Another worker, who was called the was called in on his day off, was involved in an accident on the way to work. While other museums have used CAT scanners before without any problems, the curators at this one fear that it's the result of obtaining the mummy from a wealthy donor who would not reveal where he got it. The National Museum of Egypt now says it doesn't want to have anything to do with this mummy, and the hospital they borrowed the CAT scanner from wants it exorcised. The museum curator is hoping to recoup his losses by making the whole thing into yet another Mummy's Curse movie. Okay, so a Mummy's Curse is cursing a museum in London just for using a CAT scanner on the mummy. Real or bluff? Karen, back to you.
This sounds so real that if it's not, I'm going to go home crying.
Oh boy, that's a big responsibility here. Okay. Okay. But you are home already. You do
Oh,
realize
yeah, I am. Thank you.
Okay, Karen says that is a real story. John, how about you?
Yeah, I'm going to say it's a real story also, because I think when you think of curses and things of the unexplained, things are not logical or don't appear to be the way that they are, right? So I'm going to say it's real. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So both Karen and John say the mummy's curse affecting CAT scanners is real. Let's check with the judges, and the judges say, sorry, that's a bluff.
Oh, my
The,
God.
Oh,
They
well.
love using CAT scanners on the mummies. Nobody's afraid of them at all. That's the best way. If you get a mummy, in your cereal box or as a prize in your Happy Meal, get a CAT
You may have
scanner.
to you may have to keep an eye on this story, Paul, because you never know about the
Yeah.
Oh,
far-ranging
that's true. Yeah,
capabilities,
you're right.
the far-ranging capabilities of mummies and what they can do.
Yeah, yeah. So I think now that we've finished the score, the final score is 1-0 on John in John's favor. So no,
Two
no,
weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. That's right, boy. You're
Yeah.
going.
Oh, yeah, that's true. That is true.
Yeah, boy, congratulations there, and congratulations to everybody out there who also got one, two, or all three of those stories correct. Congratulations to you as well. And on that note, I think we've reached the end of another episode of What in the World. I want to thank Karen Hale, our media mogul at newclevelandradio.net, co-host, producer, all-around great person. Please visit her at newcleveland.net. Find out about our show, about our relationship with WCTU, Channel 13, about Yes I Can Coaching with Karen, our sponsor, and about all the other great podcasts that she provides as well. Thank you to WCTU 13. I won't rush my way through that because they're so important for hosting us as well. For what we hope to be a great future relationship. And of course, I thank my old buddy John Donalo, color commentator, sports guy, puts up with me every week and keeps coming back for more. Thank you. And John, I hope you enjoy that balmy weather down there.
Yes, we are enjoying it, by the way, and I'm glad to see that you folks have some more reasonable weather. Okay, I
Yes.
mean, you've been through a lot the last several weeks. Talking to my
Yeah.
family members, they've really had it over there. So,
Yes.
hope it sustains itself, and we'll enjoy ourselves down in Florida here as well.
That's right. Yeah, we are hoping for that. It's who knows? It's winter. It's only February in Cleveland. It's going to be snowing on Easter. We've had snow in June in Cleveland, so don't get your hopes up, people. But it's always nice to dream, as they
Yes,
say.
absolutely.
There you go. So, and of course, I want to thank all of our listeners and viewers out there. Thank you so much for tuning in. You're the reason why we do this every week. We hope that you have as much fun listening and watching as we do putting the show on. That you're the reason why we do it every week for our 9th year now. So, you're the latest in a long line of fans of What in the World, and we really appreciate every single one of you. Communicate with us on Facebook or through nuclearandradio.net or paulseaburn.com. You got all different great ways to get in contact with us. Send us news ideas, all that good stuff, or just say hi. We love to hear from you. Yes. And on that note, we are going to sign out, Karen, for another week of What in the World. We'll see you next week.
See you next week, everyone.
Valentine.
Have a good week.